Episode 3 of Pluribus begins with us 2,617 days before the virus has spread across the world. We're in the past where Carol and Helen decide to stay in an ice palace up in Norway. While Helen thinks it's beautiful and is quite upbeat about the whole experience, Carol is predictably not. However, she can appreciate some of the beauty, at least as she and Helen sit together and watch the northern lights through the window. Now back in the present, we are 3 days and 3 hours past the collective taking over humanity. Carol is still flying in economy, because of course she is, but Zoja is here too. And Captain John McConnell is flying, which I guess is an improvement over the girl from TGI Friday's last episode. Carol is exasperated over the lack of experts in the scientific field outside of the collective. She is of course desperate to find a cure to whatever this thing is. After getting the lowdown on the different survivors, she also finds out a little more about the guy from Paraguay. This is Manusis, and he manages a self-storage facility. He hasn't really communicated with the collective, and given he only speaks Spanish and is keeping himself off the radar, Carol decides she wants to speak to him. It doesn't go well, and after he rudely shouts at her down the phone, Carol rings back and does the same. With this meeting a bust, Carol gets dropped off back home again. She leaves Zoja behind, who hands over all the mail in transit. There's a package here which happens to be a massage gun. Now Helen ordered this for Carol given how stressed she's been on the tour. When she rings Zoja and questions her about the present, Carol orders her to forget about Helen and erase all memories. We're now 4 days and 12 hours post the collective takeover, and in the morning food is delivered to Carol's door. She chucks it away though, stubbornly sticking to what she knows and demanding that the collective leave her alone. When she shows up at the supermarket, she finds a place completely empty. It turns out the collective are consolidating resources to centralise useful items for distribution. Now Carol's quick to ring the collective, and specifically Zoja, letting them know that she's an independent person, and ringing them all the time doesn't work for her. She'd rather just do her shopping like a normal person. Just like that, a whole bunch of trucks show up, along with dozens of people who work together to restock the supermarket. It doesn't take long for everything to be back to how it was before. Alone, Carol does her shopping, but hilariously ends up with a microwavable meal for dinner that night. Midway through watching TV, all the lights suddenly go out across the town. It's here we learn that the collective are also trying to conserve electricity and lighting too, isolating Carol's house from the grid. Zoja explains here that none of the collective are working at night, and given there's no crime either, there's no reason to keep them on. When Carol lashes out and tells Zoja to bring a hand grenade over, she does just that. It's a bit of dark humour that actually cracks Carol's facade a little, so she invites Zoja in for a drink. The joined don't know how long it will take to find a cure for her, but Carol scoffs at the vague time frame. Now all of humanity is in this room and nobody seems to know anything. This leads her to bring up the uniqueness of humanity and how this leads to unique lives and experiences. When Carol starts mentioning a few, Zoja softly butts in about Carol's experience with Helen in the Arctic. Now Carol is not happy, so she grabs the hand grenade and pulls the pin. Zoja grabs it and throws it out the window, jumping on Carol to protect her just as it explodes. Carol is shocked that this was a real grenade. Zoja is badly burned and rushed to the hospital, and she has a concussion and she's resting, but Carol is worried and more than a little bemused. Given the collective were happy to give her a live hand grenade, she goes over the moral implications of various other weapons, all the way up to nuclear bombs. Apparently the collective are happy-ish about giving her one, but it does raise a very interesting question. Is there anything the collective can say no to? So Pluribus returns this week with a slower episode that doesn't really advance the plot all that much. We do see snippets of the mystery though, including how the collective are consolidating resources and clearly doing something with the lights. They could well be working in secret, or they may well be genuine and just saving electricity. Either way, it's definitely something to chew over. The moral quandary at the end with the atom bomb is an eerie way to finish this chapter because, theoretically, Carol could actually order the collective to give her whatever she wants, including scientific apparatus, or maybe even their research. However, it's clear that this mystery is just getting started. We don't actually learn a whole lot in this chapter beyond those brief snippets I mentioned just now, but we do see more of Carol's bad mood and the drama that comes around that. The iconic Gilligan style is still here though, with solid cinematography, decent dialogue and great acting all round, but the plot is starting to move at a glacial pace. Hopefully next week's chapter picks up the pace a bit. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.